Hello everyone and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host Rob Bentley and thanks for tuning in. We have a busy show today. We'll talk Bulldog hockey, we'll talk men's basketball and women's basketball. All three teams currently in first place in their respective conference races. First up, Bulldog hockey, assistant coach Mark Kaufman. And coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rob.
Big weekend this past weekend for the Bulldogs, a battle of ranked teams, number 10 Ferris State against number 16 Michigan State, and fortunately the Bulldogs able to pull out a sweep, 1-goal games both nights.
Yeah, they were exciting contests over the ice arena this weekend, and it was the first time since 1990 that Ferris has been able to sweep Michigan State. So the kids really played well this weekend and were able to vault us into first place. So hopefully that's some motivation moving forward into this weekend's games.
You mentioned first place in the CCHA standings. You moved in front by a point, but still a very close race, and any points you can get are big at this point of the year.
Oh, absolutely. We march into Marquette, Michigan this weekend against Northern, a team that's really kind of given us fits throughout the years, and but if we can secure some points and just do that every weekend, we should be in good shape.
We go to the highlights of Friday's game, a 2-1 Bulldog win. Michigan State jumped out in front first, but your kids, it seemed like every time Michigan State able to score a goal this weekend, your kids were able to respond.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We were able to rebound from those situations, and we like to get the one to score the first goal, but again, here comes State coming down on a rush, and they're able to get it past our goaltender. Somewhat of a controversial goal initially because the one referee initially said that there was contact with the goalie before the puck went in, but it was overruled. And this is go ahead.
Bulldogs, I was going to say a great shot here by Chad Billings.
Yeah, won the power play. Great screen by our forward in front there, Garrett Thompson, and Chad's able to knock it home there.
Derek Graham, a couple assists in the game for the Bulldogs, and his play was well at the offensive end.
Absolutely. Here's a guy that's played the last year and a half on defense, and Coach Daniels bumped him back to forward spot this last couple of games, and he's really responded and playing quite well. Back-to-back
sellout crowds at the Ava Ice Arena. Talk about that home ice advantage with all those fans in attendance, sellout both nights.
Well, good teams really win their games at home in any sport, and the enthusiasm and the numbers that were at our games, it really gives the players an extra edge. Gives kind of like that 6th or 7th man out on the ice, and it means so much, and we're glad that we could reward them with a couple of wins.
Came back on Saturday night, again a sellout crowd after Friday's big win. Saturday night, a 4-3 Bulldog victory, and again Michigan State scored first, but your kids quickly jumped right back into it and took control.
Yeah, we really felt the first period and a half. We were controlling the tempo of the play, and we took a few penalties after that, and we kind of slowed down a bit, but a real good comeback. Here State coming in on their goal initially early in the first period, and but from that point on, I believe we scored the next 3 goals and made a nice comeback from that point on.
Derek Graham had your first goal. Corey Kane comes in with a goal. How did that help set the momentum going into the second period?
Well, it was Corey Kane on this play was excellent because when you get goals from your 3rd or 4th line guys in critical moments, that just gives a big boost to the rest of the team.
Jordy Johnston, another Bulldog veteran who's been playing well. Talk about his performance at the offensive end this season.
It's just been outstanding, and he's had a breakout year for his senior year, and he's really contributed at both ends of the ice, and again, he's just on top of his game.
After you'd taken a 3-1 lead, Michigan State comes back and scores a couple goals. What were the keys going into that third period with the score tied up?
Well, we wanted to get back to 5-on-5 play. We just felt that if we could muscle our way through Michigan State, we'd be able to wear them down, and that's eventually what we did.
Eventually got a goal from Travis Ouellette, the game winner, as you were able to beat the Spartans, and some big plays we saw down the stretch, some big saves by Taylor Nilsson in that.
Yeah, he's played extremely well, and he certainly earned the start on Saturday night because of the good performance he had Friday night. So it just seems to be coming all together for us right now. We're kind of injury-free, so things are looking up.
You had a kind of a mid-season lull after a great start to the year in December, but you've came back since that trip to Vermont over the holiday break and unbeaten in your last 8 encounters. And talk about some of the keys to that stretch for the Bulldogs.
Well, coming back from that Vermont trip, it was a real long trip, and even though we lost both our games out there, there were some good signs that we did play well. But again, we just kind of went back to our defensive foundation through practices and what have you, and again, the guys just really did a good job in terms of pushing each other, competing each other in practice, and I think that has been one of our keys in terms of having this type of win streak.
How important has some of the play of some of the younger kids been? You've got a good mix of some veterans with some experience and some younger kids that are really seeing their first college action this season.
Well, it's great because it gives the older guys a bit of a break, gives them some inspiration as well, and it bodes well for the development of those younger players. And we've had Jason Binkley and Simone Denis back on the blue line have just started to really contribute offensively, and it provides a real good spark to the guys up front, and we've got to continue to do that.
This week you're on the road, as you mentioned, traveling to Marquette to take on Northern Michigan. What do you know about the Wildcats going into this matchup?
Boy, they're a tough team for us, and in the past years, when we managed to split with those guys, it's been kind of almost a victory in itself. But they're very difficult to play in their own rink. They have an Olympic-sized sheet. And again, even though they're below us in the standings, their power ranking is very high. So, I mean, if the season ended today, believe it or not, they'd be in the national tournament. So they're doing a lot of things right. They've got great goaltending, and again, a team that's just they find a way to get the job done. And we've just got to bring our A game and let it rip from that point on.
This is really your last official road series of the regular season. A couple home series coming up later on in the year. But talk about how important it is to go on the road and be able to capture some of these points.
Well, yeah, it most certainly is, and again, it's right there for the taking for us. And as you mentioned, we have those home and homes with Notre Dame as well as Western near the end of the year, and sandwich in between that's a home set against Bowling Green. But while we want to look ahead, we've got to make sure that Friday and Saturday is it's up there, and that's what we got to really focus on to come home with points.
What were some of your expectations coming into the year? I know always high expectations in the Bulldog program, but your expectations coming into the year and where you're at right now, I guess how's that went for you?
Well, Coach Daniels always lays it out. We want to get home ice in the first round of the playoffs. We want to be able to secure a spot at the CCHA tournament down at Joe Louis Arena and secure a NCAA bid. And right now, if the season did end, we would accomplish those objectives. And we're right there, as I mentioned earlier. And we've just got to keep pushing forward, keep working hard in practice, and it can be a very special season when it's all said and done.
What do you think some of the biggest improvements you made since early on in the year? I know you got off to a good start, but where you're at right now, what have been the biggest areas of improvement?
Our ability to score goals. We're starting to score 3-4 goals a game, which in college hockey, believe it or not, that's a lot. And usually when you get to that 3 or 4 range, you can have a lot of momentum, and you can secure wins and points along the way. So, scoring goals is an awfully, tough chore. It's a lot of hard work to, fight through checks and get shots and what have you. But we've been doing that, creating chances, and the team's just got a real good spirit about itself right now. So, you factor all those things in together, it bodes well for good success.
Coach, congratulations again on the sweep of the Spartans, and best of luck here at Northern Michigan this weekend.
Thank you, Rob.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.